I've worked so many shitty jobs, bro. I think the worst job I've ever worked was Home Depot. That really sucked ass. I hated that job. Alright, so when I was 17, that was my first job. I worked at Home Depot. So I remember I was working in the garden. I just did not like talking to people. Like, I didn't want to, like... I was like, just an average 17-year-old. Like, I didn't even know how to talk to people, I guess. I remember just, like... The job was actually not too bad, but it was, like, 8 hours of work. You know, you get paid $10 an hour. That was the thing. I would rather, like, load the trucks with, like, mulch or whatever. I was much into doing that, like, doing the actual work than, like, talking to people, because I was worried if I talked to somebody, there was a lot of, like, secret customers that would, like, pretend to be real customers, and they would ask you, like, a lot of convoluted questions, or they would, like, purposely be annoying. Like, I think the Home Depot was, like, it was, like, a very high-running Home Depot. It was, like, probably a corporate level one or something like that. Like, it was a very in-demand Home Depot, so there would be, like, fake customers all the time, and this was, like, peak season. And I remember it was my second week working there, and I'm actually doing not bad at this point, despite, like, I don't really like talking to people. I had to use the bathroom, I remember, and to use the bathroom you had to walk down this long hallway. I called it the hallway of hell, because, like, when you walk down this hallway, you basically have the chance of running into customers, and they're gonna, like, because you have an orange, you know, jacket on, they're gonna be asking you, like, questions for really anything. And I work in garden, and that's really all I knew. I didn't know anything else, and I was 17 at the time. So I remember just, like, being like, shit, I really don't like fucking, you know, like, dealing with this shit, because people would just randomly hit me up and, like, be like, oh, what bolt should fit in this thing or whatever, and I was 17, I had no idea what any of those things were. So I remember I was walking, and this like guy went up to me, like, he basically caught me right out of the bathroom, and I was trying to basically walk past the garden as quickly as possible, because they would actually, like, count how long you would be using the bathroom, because they would fire a lot of employees for just, like, fucking off. So they would, like, count me while I was in the bathroom. So I'm, like, trying to get back to garden, which is at the other side of the building. And this guy stops me, and he's like, hey, can I get a forklift to move this, like, sink or whatever? And I'm 17, I can't use a forklift. And not only that, like, I can't really help him. Like, I'm not of use to him. I have to go to garden. So I tell him, like, hey, you know, I can't get the sink, I'm too young or whatever. He ends up, like, telling the manager that he's like, I didn't like that guy telling me that he couldn't help me with the sink or whatever, because he wasn't old enough. I didn't like the fact he told me no. And so they reported me for that. And it was, like, my second week of working there. And I remember getting, like, called to the management's office, like, they escort me, like, 17-year-old me, because I told this customer I couldn't help him. And they, like, threatened to fire me, like, my second week working there. Yeah, it was my second week, and they're like, and I'm, like, shitting my pants, basically, because I'm like, can I not do a real-life job? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really my fault, but it was, like, it was the corporate... It was just, like, corporate being super stingy and, like, annoying. So they threatened to fire me. They really didn't fire me, because I was, like, on my best behavior after that. Like, the manager, like, screamed at me and yelled at me, like, in this room. Because, like, I remember he said, he was like, yeah, do you want me to term you? Like, he was being really, like, overly friendly and, like, overly nice and, like, passive-aggressive. And, he was like, do you want me to fire you? Like, are you gonna try or whatever? Like, just, like, questions. Just being a shitty person. I never liked this manager at all. I thought he was a very fake person. I was on, like, my best behavior after that, because they were, like, surely on a watch for me. But I think some people, like, realize, like, this kid's just 17, he doesn't know what he's doing, like, you know what I mean, just, like, give him a break. Which some people did feel that way, but they wanted to get rid of me early because of that. They didn't get rid of me until, like, the garden season was over. That's like, basically what they normally do at Home Depot. They'll hire, like, 40 people to work in garden, and then they'll fire all of them by the end of the season when it's over. And that's basically what yeah, I remember just, like, I remember if anything bad happened, like, I was, like, always like, I could get fired again. So I would get, like, legit anxiety dealing with people, because I was like, this interaction up. Like, they could just report me, and that's basically the culture I felt in Home Depot, at least at mine, and I never liked working there after that. I was kind of like, when they were like, yeah, we're letting them go, blah blah blah. When they were letting everybody go, it was like low-key a relief, because I was like tired of it. There were some nice people that I worked with though. The weirdest customer though, like, I remember this customer. This guy like had some legit issues, because like I remember this guy, like, I don't know if he was paid off, like it was really weird, like the amount of people I dealt with. But this guy would come into this Home Depot like every week, and he was like your average like 30-year-old, not even 30s, probably like late 30s, early 40s, like midlife crisis man. He would just like harass everybody, like he would yell at like the receptionists or whatever, the clerks. He would yell at the clerks for like not doing fast enough for him, and like he would be like, oh, this isn't the service I should be getting, stuff like that. And this guy was like a total he just would come into Home Depot all the time and bitch and complain, and the managers had to deal with him because he would always ask for the manager. But he would always come back. Like, I don't even know why he would always come back when his main idea was just to come in there and fuck dick. And he knew, because Home Depot like is overly nice to customers for no goddamn reason. He knew he could get away with it, and he always did. He would basically just come in and harass people. So he actually dealt with me like one night. Did this happen in Chicago? Chicago area. It's like in the suburbs outside of Chicago. So this guy comes in, right, and he's dealing with me, and I think people told me beforehand. They're like, yo, this guy has some sort of issues, like he's come in here before. I don't know why people were so down to deal with this guy. Like, that's what I mean, like Home Depot like trains your employees to just get treated like by people, you know? Like, and I've been to other jobs where like if customers try to like be an asshole, like they curse them out and they tell them to leave, you know? But Home Depot was like so pathetic. They're like down to like totally have these people just treat you like shit. So this guy comes in, and there's this water hose he wants. It's like $80, right? I don't know why you would buy an $80 water hose. It made no sense to me. Why would you buy an $80 water hose? And this guy buys. He's asking me for the water hose, and I get the phone and I'm looking for it, and we go to the spot of the store where the water hose is supposed to be, and lo and behold, the water hose isn't there. Now apparently in the Home Depot app, which this guy is like ironically using, I don't know why, he comes in and just harasses people. Why does he actually like have the Home Depot app? It was a little weird, you know? That's why I was like, is this guy like a secret shopper, just like paid to be a dick to people? Like, that's what I thought. But I was like, oh, sorry, sir. You know, it's not here. The water hose is gone or whatever. We're out of stock. I'm sorry. You know. And he was like, it says you guys have one water hose right here. It says right here you guys have the water hose. I'm like, yeah, sorry, sir, we don't have it. And most people would be like, okay, I guess, a little disappointing. I'll go home, whatever. This guy starts cursing me out, and he's like, who the f do you think you are? You don't know where the water hose. Can you do your f***ing job right? And then he like starts calling me names like I don't even think I could say on stream. Like he was like, you know, he was like asking me if I was like special needs, basically asking me if I was, and I'm saying that in the nicest way possible. He was saying it in the worst way possible. He was like, do you have issues? Like, are you know, do you have problems? Like, can you use a phone right? Like that. And I'm like, dude, you know what? Go somewhere else. Like, I think I didn't even like curse him out because I was too much of a bitch to like really do anything. I just like took it. And I remember just like walking away, and he like keeps talking. And he just like keeps like talking to himself. He's like, you guys can't, you know, handle people that know what they're doing, whatever, blah blah blah. You guys don't know what you're talking about. How do they hire people that have no idea how to do their job? And I'm like, oh my god, this guy, complete asshole, man. Yeah, I had a theory for the longest time. I was like, is this guy like paid off by Home Depot to like train the employees how to deal with complete pieces of shit? And I would see him all the time, man. I would see him all the time. He would always come back, and this guy had like a bald spot. Like he probably was a huge cuck in real life. But yeah, after he was name calling me, I pretty much just like ran away or something. Like I was just like, this guy is like just raging in real life like hard, and I'm just gonna walk away. And that's what I did, and I like told somebody else about it, and they're like, oh, he does that all the time. And I'm like, then why the is he here? Why is this guy work? Like, why are people down with this guy just coming in here and doing that? And he did it again. Like, there was another employee. She was like a receptionist or something, and he like came in and started harassing her, and like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're stupid as hell, like da 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 da. And he would come back, and people would just totally down with him being there. And then I remember this girl was like, yeah, he's really mean for like no reason. I'm like, why is he here? Why are people allowing this guy to fucking be here? So yeah, that was the worst customer I probably ever deal with, like, in any job. Just like, totally not cool at all. Does he still come in? Well, I never knew, because when I stopped working there, I didn't go back ever. I didn't like check in or anything like that. I just knew like he would just come in and do that all the time, and nobody did anything about it. It was like so weird. And then when I worked at Jimmy John's, which was the job I pretty much did afterwards, I did Jimmy John's after Home Depot. I was in the ghetto. I was doing Jimmy John's in the ghetto, like and people were barely tipping like that. It was kind of shitty, but I was actually it was a lot nicer to work there, honestly, because it was way more lax, and like I didn't get in trouble or anything like that. So for like dumb that I really shouldn't have gotten in trouble for. Yeah, dude, Jimmy John's is okay. It's alright. But I did work there as a delivery driver, and I think the reason why I stopped is because I had a truck that was really old, and it was like not really good for like delivering food. I remember one of the times I was working at Jimmy John's, it was like the biggest day of the year, right? It's like the day the subs are like $1, right? It was like a day the subs were like $1, right? It was like dollar sub day, and when that day comes, like Jimmy John's basically becomes like Armageddon, because everybody's coming in and buying like 6 subs, and they're all like $1. And I remember one of my employees, she was like older than me. She was probably like 20 something. I was like in my teens. She was like in her 20s. This guy starts yelling at her. She just immediately, like, cause he's like being a dick, right? And I was like, I've seen this before at like Home Depot, but people like just take it, you know, they like, people like curse them out or whatever, and they just like do nothing because they're worried about getting fired. This girl just straight up just starts cursing her out, and I'm like, this is awesome. This is the ghetto. And she's like, don't come here if you're gonna fucking act like that. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, and I was like, damn, you fucking go. I was like, yes, finally, because customers do be acting like that, dude. I feel like any business that is like, oh, you gotta treat the customers nice, like, not when they're being a piece of shit, you know, you gotta tell them to leave. Yeah, man, dude, like, I don't like businesses where they're like, you have to be a robot and just take everything, because, like, if someone's being disrespectful, they gotta go, you know what I mean? You gotta, because that's not helping the business at all. Have I ever worked at McDonald's? No. I know many people that did, but I never did. I did Jimmy John's for like 2 months, and I was kind of doing some shit, so I knew I didn't want to work there all the time. People would like steal shit and like get away with it all the time. Like, they would steal food. I didn't do that, but actually I worked at GNC, I think, after that, and that was like 2 years I worked there, man. General Nutrition. I worked there for 2 years. Yeah, I have a lot of stories of that place too. Maybe I'll leave that for another time, because that job really deserves its own story. I did like working there though. That's why I stayed there for so long. Deal with any roid ragers? No, but I worked in a really ghetto GNC, so there was a lot of people. Actually, the biggest, because it was in a really ghetto area, there was a lot of people that would buy this product. I'll show it. They would buy this product called Nasodol powder. And you might be thinking, like, what is this powder? It's not steroids. That was like, yeah, there were people like maybe in GNCs like back in the day selling steroids under the counter, but Nasodol powder is used to cut coke, and GNC does sell it. So it's really supposed to be used for like cell regeneration. And the bottles, like, my manager was such like she knew people in the ghetto area that I worked at. She knew people would buy it either way. Like, they would buy it for like 90, like, they had the money, right, because they're coke dealers, and she would only sell the biggest bottles that were like $90 to $150, and these people would buy like 3 of them. Yeah, man. Yeah, gotta regenerate that nasal cavity. Yeah. Yeah, dude, there was I dealt with drug dealers all the time, and I always knew when they were coming in. Like, they would have their girls come in, like their girlfriends or whatever, and like they would like say it wrong, and I'm like, yeah, you're definitely like a coke dealer's girlfriend or something. Or they would like come in all tatted up, and they'd be like, yeah, the National powder, and they would buy like 3 bottles. It'd be like $300. I only liked the job. I only worked there for so long because I would just literally do nothing. Like I would just do I was in college. It was like the perfect college job. It was like the perfect job in college because I was just doing my homework, and I would like I would watch so much movies, bro. But at Home Depot, it was so strict, they would like count how long you were in the bathroom, you know what I mean? But at GNC, I was just watching movies all day. I was watching movies, I was watching YouTube videos, I watched all the Chappelle Show on GNC internet. Getting your National powder runs? Yeah, man. Dude, let that become a meme. Yeah, bro, you're getting your National powder for $90. Oh, that's a combo. Anyways, yeah, I would just kick my feet up, and I remember my manager would walk in, and she was like, she would become really annoying as the years went by, but like I would just be doing nothing, and she would sometimes not give, but as time went on, she would get like annoyed. I watched all the Chappelle Show, I watched movies, I watched Good Time, or I watched The Big Lebowski. It's fun to do nothing. It did get annoying after a while having to go in there all the time and getting paid like fucking ass, just getting paid nothing really. Man's cultured, yeah, man. Try to be.